Hello, welcome to the Last Supper of Outcasts. I'm your host, Woodrow Wilson. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. At least that's what I've been told. Today's quote of the day is from none other than Mr. Frank Zappa, and it goes as such. Schools train you to be ignorant with style. They prepare you to be a usable victim for a military-industrial complex that needs manpower. As long as you're just smart enough to do a job and just dumb enough to swallow what they feed you, you're going to be all right. So I believe that schools mechanically and very specifically try and breed out any hint of creative thought in the kids that are coming up. Mr. Frank Zappa, one of the knights at the round table, one of the disciples at the Last Supper of Outcasts, one of my all-time heroes. And this is part one of a series on my personal experience with the so-called American educational system. I have far too many stories to tell to fit them all in one episode, so I decided to split them up as I want to be sure not to leave anything out. So here we go. Here's episode number 1. When I was around 5 or 6 years old, however old you are when you're in kindergarten, and I went to Catholic kindergarten, which is special. And as you probably know yourself, if you too were forced against your will to attend Catholic kindergarten, bloody Jesus was everywhere. And bloody Jesus was, and still is, traumatic to me. It still is traumatic. I can always remember the statue of the crucifix behind the altar, and it was gory. It was nightmarish. But I digress. As you've probably experienced, we as Catholic kindergartners were assigned many projects that required us to draw a lot. And of course, we were given such assignments to keep us busy just long enough in order to give our so-called teacher enough time to either go smoke a cigarette, maybe go smoke a joint in the bathroom, and if they were really daring enough, maybe go have a glass of wine with the priest, or have a jaunt with one of the priests. Who knows? Questions do remain. And on one particular afternoon, after finishing some silly assignment on drawing, my lovely teacher returned in all her smoky glory from her daily smoke break or whatever she was doing. And and when she got back, I remember her reviewing my drawing and bending down and whispering in my ear specifically the following statement: "It's not that good." And if you didn't hear me, she said, "It's not that good." That is her verbatim statement. And I believe she made the remark partly because she overheard my classmates possibly giving me compliments on the drawing, and maybe they were overdoing it or whatever. And for whatever reason, this didn't sit on my teacher's face very well, or it didn't fit Jesus's exact instructions. Thus, her comment to me. That's my thinking, at least. And I remember this fun, little humiliation like it was yesterday. So just to piss her off, I created some drawings that you can view on my Substack page. I've provided the link in the description of this video so you can make up your own mind if I'm not that good or not, if I'm that good or not, whatever. I personally always thought I need to work on my drawing, and I have, pretty diligently, as a matter of fact, and for many years. And I think I did this, I became an artist, particularly because of that statement. But again, I digress because now I let AI handle all the drawing. And that's a whole other episode on our educational system. Because if you think that our institutions didn't know that AI was coming, I would have to argue with you. And so, I have a background in graphic design, and AI is basically just kind of wiping that all out. That whole industry's going into the tank. But whatever, I don't really care. But in hindsight, I get it. My teacher was probably menstruating. Maybe she hadn't been late in hours, or maybe Jesus didn't forgive her sins enough that day. So I understand her sour mood. I really do. I don't blame her. She pushed me to become an artist. That statement really actually made me become an artist. But is her statement, "It's not that good," really any way to speak with a child who's simply trying their best, trying to tolerate the teacher's horrible breath, the horrible attitude, and the teacher's horrible teaching ability? I don't think so. And this is one of my earliest memories of my experience with the so-called American education system. Needless to say, it started off badly, and it stayed that way throughout my entire educational career. But I do give this teacher credit. As I said, I became a fairly decent artist. If you check out the Substack that I put in the description, the link I put in the description, you can make up your own mind. And I give her credit also for helping me know that the education system isn't something you should take too seriously, if seriously at all. So again, this is just part one of a series. I have way too many stories to tell on this topic. So, and like I said, I don't want to leave anything out. So that's it for today. I hope you got something out of the video. If you have experienced anything like this yourself, I would love to hear your comments. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And that's pretty much it for now. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great night.